From 14 News, this is Touchdown Live in the Huddle, your live streaming pregame football show. Sponsored by Chick-fil-A West Evansville. Delivery from us to you. Order ahead through the Chick-fil-A app.
We are back, everybody. Happy week 4. Happy NFL kickoff day as well to you, Mitch. But we're not here for the NFL, though, are we, buddy? We're here to talk high school football. Each week, we're going in the huddles of your favorite teams across the tri-state to give you an inside look before Friday's big game.
Plus, as always, we're taking a deeper dive into the people who make up the teams with live interviews and feature stories to shine a spotlight on the minds behind the magic that you and I see on the field each and every Friday night.
Well, Mitch, I'm not going to waste any time today. Let's jump right in for our Week 2 Player of the Week. We head out to Pike Central High School to check in on our Week 2 Player of the Week.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, we're out here with our Week 2 Touchdown Live Player of the Week, Matthew Meadows. How we doing?
Feeling great. How about you?
Oh, we're ready. I'm ready to deliver our Player of the Week pigskin, sir. Here you go.
Thank you very much. This is awesome.
How are the first 2 weeks of the season going so far for you?
Pretty good. First week took a tough loss, down at Riverton Park. Had a hard week of practice. Tecumseh played very, very good. Line blocked amazing. Receivers caught the ball. Coaches had a great plan for us. And then obviously last week, had a tough loss, but we got to have a hard week at practice here so we can go into Southridge.
So let's talk about that performance that you had in Week 2 that got you our Player of the Week. Really good stats passing wise, but also you tacked on plenty of rush yards and 4 total touchdowns. What was working well for you?
I don't know. It's just all my receivers, catching my passes. Line blocking for that run, that was amazing. I've never done that before, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah.
You're saying that running was a more new experience for you?
Yeah, for sure. I've never ran that far before. I've never had usually when I get a rush touchdown, it's off a, short 1-yard touchdown. Never run like 70, 68 yards, That's crazy. It was awesome.
Were you gassed at the end of that run?
Yeah. I was laying there on the ground waiting for my teammates to come pick me up. It was awesome.
Hey, well, at the very least, that exhaustion paid off because you're our Week 2 Touchdown Live Player of the Week. Congratulations.
I appreciate it very much.
All right, great talking to him out there. And once again, congratulations. All right, Mitch, are you ready to reveal our Week 3 winner?
Oh, I am. Like always, been watching the votes with anticipation.
All right, here we go. The votes are in. You folks have spoken out there. The winner is the entire Memorial Tiger defense. In their 56-0 win over Evansville Central, the Tigers posted 6 interceptions, 9 tackles for loss, and even a touchdown of their own.
Congratulations, Coach Brunson and your DC. We'll be looking forward to speaking to you all and giving you a Player of the Week pigskin of your own.
All right, that's right. We'll come see you this week. And if you want to win yourself one of these, head on over to our 14 Sports app to vote each week.
And need a little refresher? No worries. Check this out.
Hey, Max Parker, 14 Sports Director. Want to win yourself one of these? Follow me. I'll show you how. If you want to win this, you're going to have to use this. You're going to hop on your 14 Sports app on your phone, click the 3 bars in the upper left-hand corner, click Player of the Week. We're going to load on up, and then there are 4 nominees. All you got to do is click the heart button. Now you voted. Vote as many times as you'd like. Get the most votes in a week, you win this. Coming up on In the Huddle, it's time for our Tri-State Insider segment. Join Mitch and I right here in the studio as we break down the biggest plays week in and week out.
And you can't break down the plays without talking to the men who come up with them. We'll reveal our game of the week, and you can hear from both coaches on what to expect from their side of the map and their Week 4 matchup. Stick around.
Welcome back to In the Huddle. I'm joined by our Tri-State Insider, Mitch Carter. Mitch, Week 4. How we doing?
Max, season's flying by. I feel like we were just breaking down Week 1, but as always, I'm excited to get into it.
If you're new here, this is where we break down our Touchdown Live Game of the Week. Mitch, we got to remind our viewers, you were a state champ with Southridge, and then you played for Ball State. you know a thing or two about football.
I've dabbled in my life, but of course, as always, we'll talk about the biggest plays and who it is we're watching out for on Friday night.
And of course, we'll finish up with Carter's calls, where he picks who's coming out on top. You're on a bit of a run here, man.
That's right. I took a tough week 1, but I'm on a hot streak right now, looking to extend my lead to 3.
All right, well, we're looking forward to that. Now, for the moment of truth, week 4, rapidly heading toward the halfway point of the regular season, and we're taking our talents, guess where?
Oh, it is overdue. We're crossing the Ohio River right into Kentucky.
Heading down to Red Devil country is Owensboro, hosts Owensboro Catholic. Somebody's got to be crowned king of the city.
I mean, someone's got to win, someone's got to lose, right? I mean,
yes,
come on.
You're exactly right. Coach Jason Morris's Aces over at Catholic have been tearing through teams this season. Their closest matchup so far, 43-13 when they hosted Greenwood. With weapons on both sides of the ball, they have had little trouble so far this season putting up points and also preventing them.
Well, across town sits Coach Jay Fallon and his Red Devils, looking for a candidate with something to prove. Don't let the 1-2 record fool you. This looks to me like a stout team that challenged themselves early on this season with tough bouts against Christian Academy in Louisville and Bowling Green.
So, Mitch, 2 quality programs going head-to-head. What can we expect, my man?
Well, Max, 2 quality programs is exactly right. You know, I'm hoping this might be one of our most exciting game of the weeks to date. I want to start off, though, taking a look here at Owensboro Catholic. So far into the season, Coach Morris's squad has looked like kind of a well-oiled machine, taking it to the teams they're playing on all fronts. A lot of that success can be attributed to guys on the front side of the ball, like quarterback Brady Atwell. Check this out here. Here he is against Davis County, dropping back, finding the open man across the middle. That's William Carrico, and look at Tut run, taking it all the way unopposed for the touchdown. That's been a common sight for them every single Friday this season. The Aces averaging just under 450 offensive yards per game this season. That's without adding up the all-purpose yards their defense has racked up. So it's not a secret. Catholic looking like a buzzsaw this season.
Certainly looking forward to seeing that high-powered Aces squad on Friday. But what about Coach Fallon's crew?
Well, the Red Devils, I mentioned it at the top of the segment here, but I cannot stress enough how little stake should be put into the 1-2 record if you're a fan kind of heading into this game, if you're excited about it. Coming into a rivalry like this, expect these boys to be chomping at the bit with something to prove. They took back-to-back licks to start the season off before pouring it on the Davis County last week. Let's check out some flicks from that game. Here comes Trevor DeLacy coming out in enemy territory before he moves away from the pressure there and dumps it off to Dion Winstead, who makes it look easy, turning on the Jets, waltzing his way into the end zone for 6. I mean, look at 5 moves. It's like he's jogging out there. Speed kills, and the Red Devils have got a lot of it.
All right, Mitch. Well, we've seen the tape. We've talked X's and O's. It's that time again. Carter's call. Who's it going to be, buddy?
Well, Max, this one's kind of interesting on paper, as they all are. Undefeated Class 2A Aces kind of punching up a bit, looking to dethrone the 5A Red Devils. Now, we've talked about the speed on both squads, but my X factor for this week has nothing really to do with X's and O's, more about the intangibles. This is a crosstown rivalry game with the community showing out and bragging rights on the line. Discipline is going to be huge Friday night. Look to potentially see big swings of momentum out there if guys can't keep their cool after a big play happens, and we've seen these squads work. We know either side can break out a long TD or a big stop really at any point. Now, I know I've been talking a lot about how Owensboro is a squad. They're hungry, looking to prove themselves, but so is Catholic. I'm looking to see them go into Red Devil country, say, I don't care that you're 5A. I don't care you won semi-state last year. We're the kings of Owensboro's. Give me the small school every time. Give me Catholic on Friday night.
All right. On In the Huddle. Don't go anywhere. We've got the coaches heading up both sides of our game of the week. We'll dig into their game plans and hear their thoughts when we come back.
Plus, we're taking a walk down memory lane here, going over some of our favorite plays from week 3. We've got some heaters today, so stick around.
All right, welcome back in, everyone. Mitch gave us that rundown on the teams for our game of the week, but let's take an overall look at the squads and hear from their coaches. We start with the Owensboro Red Devils. The first 2 games of the season proved to be tough, starting with a 28-14 loss to Christian Academy Louisville and then a 42-28 loss to Bowling Green. But Owensboro was able to rebound with a dominant win over Davis County. This week, though, Owensboro head coach Jay Fallon has his eyes set on the biggest threat on the Aces squad, their quarterback.
Brady has a great arm and makes great decisions thus far this season and has thrown the ball extremely well. Tut's been his #1 target, but they got a core of great receivers over there, and we'll just have to be aware of where everybody is at all times and try to do a good job of communicating with each other, pre-snap on defense, getting lined up, getting the calls and keys and checks made that we need, and then executing when the ball snaps. You know, we want it to be consistent with our prep. Now, obviously, there are weeks where there's a little bit more excitement and energy and enthusiasm. Of course, Owensboro Catholic Week is one of those weeks.
Well, now over to Owensboro Catholic with the Aces. We'll start with their signal caller, Mr. Brady Atwell. The Aces QB has 14 passing touchdowns coming into the game. Tack on 3 rushing touchdowns as well. Pair him with Tut Carrico's 7 receiving TDs. That's quite the tandem. Well, coming into this crosstown battle, the Aces are 3-0, having beaten Apollo, Davis County, and Greenwood by a combined margin of 116 points. The defense has only allowed 19 points all season long.
This would be the city-county championship pretty much, and you know, our kids are excited, their kids are excited, the whole town's excited. You know, it's a real exciting atmosphere. There's just something different about the Catholic Owensboro game. It's hard to explain until you've actually coached in one or played in one. A lot of the kids are friends with each other, but on Friday night they're going to be battling, trying to win with everything they have. Both schools know each other as the other school down the road. Our kids are focused, our coaches are focused. It's going to be a great game, and you know, we're going to stay humble, and we have the most respect that you can have for a team in Owensboro. They're coached well. They have great tradition, and we know we got our hands full going in there.
We will be at our game of the week. Really looking forward to this city battle. The Aces and the Devils battle it out at 7 o'clock. Now over to my personal favorite segment of our show. Our Mitch Carter is over at the Telestrator, ready to break down some of our favorite plays from Week 3. Mitch, take it away.
Well, Max, Week 3 was nuts. We saw pick sixes, we saw safeties, we saw long runs, and we saw TFLs. Well, as is tradition for the 2023 rendition of In the Huddle, I went through and picked out 3 of my favorite plays from last week. Starting out, we're heading out to Poseyville, where the matchup between the North Posey Vikings and the South Spencer Rebels was all Vikings all the time. And they offered us a treat of a play. Let's go ahead and roll the tape here. We're jumping into the first half, where running back Jed Galvin for the Vikings is running angry. Follow him here and stop right there. Right here, you're about to see Jed Galvin walk us through the anatomy of a stiff arm. See here, Exhibit A, ball tucked neatly into the offhand, 3 points of contact. Exhibit B, opposite arm here, getting warmed up, about to fully extend to the defender's body, i.e. full arm, stiff arm, that sort of thing, extended. It's very stiff. Now, of course, that's all you really need if you've got that dog and you've been doing your workouts, getting strong. But if you'll join me here, watch the defender's ankles as we play this thing forward here. You'll see he's in a full-on sit, no base, no strength, and it can really only lead to one thing. Let me clear this up and let's roll the tape. Watch him here. Boom, there it is, stiff arm. One more broken arm tackle is all it takes, and young Jed takes it nearly 50 yards to the crib for a score. Good work, young man. Vikings were instrumental right there, dismantling the Rebels 41-7, looking like an orchestra. Well, up next here for play 2, we're heading out to North High School, where the Huskies were taking on the Warriors of Harrison. Got a special one here for you. We're taking a peek at a special teams play. Let's go ahead and roll this clip. Right away, it's a booming kick, and Jason Rucker's got to go south to track it down. He catches it, though, and right away looking for a seam. Stop right here. Now, clearly, they are in disarray right now. You can see Warriors on the ground here, tabletopping each other. 2 more guys, eyes on one's backside here, trying to hawk him down. And back here, another guy, I mean, he's out of the fight. They're losing their lanes. They're all over the place. And go ahead and roll this clip here. You see what happens when Rucker has some space. It is all speed, one gentle cut, and he's slipping through all those defenders. Business decisions all around. Throws him a peace sign on the way in, 10 yards out, trots in. House call for Jason Rucker, 77-yard touchdown. Huskies went on to mash the Warriors 52-12. And there's always got to be a last highlight, but I think you'd all agree with me if I told you this week's is far from our least. Let's take on out to Enloe Field, where Bosse is taking on Castle in what would turn into an absolute barn burner. Most of it thanks to the young man we're about to see here. Let's roll it. Number 5 here, Elijah Wagner, the quarterback, put the team on his back. Over 500 purpose yards, 3 touchdowns. Watch him here. Let's stop the tape right now. Now, 2 people just hit him, putting some work in on his legs here. It looks like this might be it. One guy's on the ground, another guy on the ground, but he's hitting a full leg, bent over lowercase r. 3 other defenders here right in his face. Things are looking dire for Wagner, but if you keep watching, the work he puts in on his feet, I can't imagine the bounce. He's got the entire Castle defense shifting, and once we roll this tape here, you'll see just how much Wagner's teammates love him, showing how much they care for the man. Let's go ahead and roll it. Watch him here. Reverses the field, the entire defense on skates, and blocks coming all the way around. 72-7, clearing the path. Wagner trots his way in, waltzes in untouched for 6. Now, reversing the field doesn't always work, but when it does like that, it is sick. Despite the heroics, Bosse would go on to drop this one, a heartbreaker, 52-42 in favor of the Knights.
Next on In the Huddle, it's back again for the second week in a row in the red zone. See who we choose and hear their answers when we come back.
And we'll break down the schedules for the other games in our area as we get ready to get underway here with Week 4 on the Gridiron.
Welcome back in, everybody. We said it before the break, but it's about time to leave the huddle and enter the red zone.
Well, that's right. If you're new here, the segment's all about speed. Think a 2-minute drill with the game on the line.
Whichever player we choose will have 60 seconds to rattle off as many questions as they can to our predetermined questions.
Well, for Week 4, we'll send it out to Aaron Hancock, who took his talents down to Davis County.
All right, guys, here we are on our In the Red Zone segment at Owensboro Catholic High School with Major Pride, a senior for the Aces.
How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Great.
All right, well, first of all, what is your favorite pregame hype-up song?
It's a party. We get it going with Coach Morris before the game in the locker room. It gets us going.
Awesome. All right, your favorite pregame meal?
I don't like to eat too much for the game, but a turkey sandwich from Jimmy John's, it does me pretty good.
All right, how about right after?
Whatever I get my hands on. I get hungry.
Definitely. All right, what's your favorite Coach Morris quote?
Don't be a bunch of hanyaks. That's a pretty good one.
Okay, I'm not going to ask what that means. Who is the biggest team prankster?
Brady Atwell. He's all over the place.
Okay, who do you consider the Aces' biggest rival?
Owensboro Red Devils, for sure.
You guys got them this week, of course. Let's go food. Ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup.
All right. Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
All right. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Yeah, there you go. You got to say that, right? Well, that will do it. Thanks for joining us, Major.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Aaron. Last on our list, as always, let's take a look at what's in store for game day with a look at some games all across the schedule. First up, let's take a look at some SIAC action. Harrison travels to face Castle. The Knights coming off a tight victory over Bosse last week. Also a big game between the Tigers of Memorial and Mater Dei. They face off at Enloe Field in this year's edition of the Hunger Bowl. Going to be interesting to see how Mater Dei fares against that stout Tiger defense. Continuing in the conference, Bosse heads to Jasper. Bosse showcasing plenty of offense through 3 games this season. Then sends Lincoln host Central. The Bears and Alice is facing off. Alice is 2-1. Meanwhile, the Bears still working to get into that win column. Wrapping up the SIAC action at the Wrights Bowl, the North Huskies take on the Wright Panthers. Can North dethrone the undefeated Panthers? North coming in with momentum after a dominant win over Harrison, but Wright has looked so solid all year. Outside the SIAC, Pike Central and our Week 2 Player of the Week quarterback Matthew Meadows head to take on the Raiders of Southridge. Mitch, I know you'll have a close eye on your boys at Southridge. Plenty of other games to get to, though, Which games tickle your fancy this week, sir?
Well, Max, I'm glad you asked. Of course, I do have my eyes on Southridge, but I've also got my eye on some other ones. First, clearly, looking forward to our game of the week over at Owensboro High School to see who's going to be the kings of the city. But we're also watching to see who comes out on top in that matchup between the Fort Campbell Falcons and the Madisonville Maroons. Both those games get underway at 7 p.m. Well, lest we forget, Henderson County's at home looking to pick up win number 2 after a heartbreaker last week. They'll have Paducah-Tillman's Blue Tornado headed their way. Then you've got the Titans of Gibson Southern taking the voyage into Spartan territory where they'll look to knock off South Warren. Well, now over to Illinois, where we've got the Golden Aces of Mount Carmel hosting the Robinson Maroons. The Golden Aces looking to shift their record to 2-1. We've also got Edwards County heading to take on Flora. Lions versus Wolves, with Edwards County looking to add their first tally to the win column.
One more look at 6 more games across the tri-state. North Knox travels to Boonville. South Spencer hosts Heritage Hills. Tecumseh welcomes Forest Park. Mount Vernon travels over to Washington. Davis County heads to North Hardin. And finally, Apollo heads to Bowling Green. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching our Touchdown Live in the Huddle pregame show. We hope you enjoyed our in-depth look at some of the best football teams across the tri-state.
We'll be back each Thursday night at 7 o'clock to preview teams in creative ways. Of course, this would not have been possible at all without our entire production crew and marketing team. Thank you for all the work you've put in to make this whole thing happen.
For highlights of all your favorite games, be sure to join us back here for Touchdown Live every Friday night on our 14 Sports app at 10:35. And then, of course, we'll feature our express version on 14 News at 10. And stay locked in on the 14 Sports app all evening for the most up-to-date scores for games across the tri-state. We'll see you there.